I will say family office has been a term that a lot of people use.
Yes.
A lot of them will use it as a selling deal to get you into their program. And I think some of it can be really valid, but some of it is just a, wrapper to sell whatever they want to sell you. And so hopefully you'll set the record straight. And I very much look forward to getting into this conversation with you.
I'm looking forward to it too.
What does a family office even mean?
So that's a timely question because it just came from an industry event with other people in our industry who asked me that same question. What is a family office from your perspective, somebody who deals in that space? And a family office has a broad term. It can look a lot of different ways. And it could be that here's the simplified version of it is once a family is operating their world of wealth, not wealth management, their world of wealth, like a business, they are basically a family office at that point. So I'd like to say we're defining it broadly because it can look like a lot of different things. And then the follow-up question everybody always asks is, well, when does somebody need a family office?
Yes.
And that again depends. So you'd make a great politician.
I'm not going to answer any of your questions. I'm kidding.
It does depend because if you say, well, once you're at $100 million and somebody reaches out to you and they're worth $100 million, but they have a very simple world of wealth, they don't need the complexity of a family office. But somebody could be worth $500 million and have a simple world and just not need the complexity. They need good advisors that are all communicating with each other, but they don't necessarily need to restructure into something different. But somebody could be worth 80, 90, $100 million, but they have so many moving parts. They own multiple businesses. Maybe they still do have some derived W-2 income. They have private equity. They have real estate. They have all these moving parts, and they need some place that it's kind of managed all together. And by the way, all of those moving parts have different experts involved that are advising them. They need to be communicating.
Yes. And so the family office is a structure or a platform to bring all those people in, whether it's fractionally, and the really wealthy families will just retain their people and just pay them full time just to manage their own wealth because they're running their house like a business.
That's a pretty high threshold, right? We're not doing that at 100 million. It's a lot of money, but that's not going to be where you see that value. So single family office like that, really high threshold. Multifamily office, plugging in with them, maybe a different threshold. Virtual family office, those are great if that's the right fit. There's a lot of different options.
Cool. So out of the people that are watching or listening, very few of them will check the box of, you know what, I qualify to run my own family office or even a fractional family office. Is it worth that? Like, why should they continue to listen to what you have to share?
Yeah. Well, I would say if you care about generational wealth, or you sit there and say, I want to have a legacy that lives beyond me, I'm going to talk about that's more of a financial, but also there's some other legacy there. Then there's things that we can learn from those family offices that we can apply. And so we distill those down and we apply.
Why are you fascinated about this? And like, what was like the light bulb moment you had just in insurance? And that might have been before you got into the family office world, but like, what was the light bulb moment for insurance?
So before I was in the family office world, I always believed in shifting risk. So I've had disability insurance, life insurance, all these insurances. I was never anti-insurance in my personal life. That was that was very different. That's the typical lens that a lot of us might have. When I got into that space and I saw how it was being used to create liquidity, to perpetuate their family legacy, I sat there and realized, like, this is very different than the life insurance I own today, and the purpose of that. But there's things that we can still learn from that, and there's ways that we can use life insurance similarly to how they're using it, but without the trust structures and without having a family office and so on.